Welcome to this new meeting from IWS after the social meeting during the summer. We're starting again with our meetings with a theme every month, and we have prepared a good season, a new season of meetings every month for you guys. So let's start with some housekeeping. Oh, I want to introduce myself. I'm Clarisse Baudot from Vancouver, and I'll be the moderator. I'm the city leader of Vancouver, and to help me on with the chat, Hanadi is one of our regular member in Vancouver, and she'll help me with moderating the chat. A little bit of housekeeping. So if you can add your city to your name in Zoom, that would be great because we're all from different cities. Also, you've seen the poll, so if you can finish replying to it about finances, and we'll be using it during the presentation today. If you want, if you have questions, you can raise your hand or use the chat. If you're not talking, please mute yourself. But I see that everybody's used to Zoom now, so you all know about this. Video is nice if you want to show non-verbal feedback or if you speak. If you're an adept of tweet, feel free to tweet for this event live. The meeting is recorded, and we'll take some screenshots of us to promote our meetings in future events. So it'll be shared on social media or on our website. This is our participation agreement in each IWS meeting. We want to maintain a safe place for our members to share their own experience. So remember to respect everyone's perspective and confidentiality of their details if they share some during that meeting. I want to acknowledge that we're broadcasting today from the unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, including the territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. I let everyone outside of the Vancouver area to reflect on which First Nation territory you are currently situated. The agenda for today. I'm going to talk about IWS. If it's your first meeting with us, you'll know a little bit better about IWS, what we want, what we do, and what is our spirit. And then I'll introduce the leaders that are on the meeting today. We have leaders from all around the country. And then I'll introduce our speakers. Then I'll give them the floor for the presentation about personal finances. And then I'll do a short presentation about business finances. We'll have some questions and answers at the end. Feel free to ask your questions in the chat during the meeting, during the presentation, and if the questions haven't been answered during all the presentations, then we can take some questions at the end, and we'll do some wrap up for this meeting. It's going to be around probably 6:37, I think. So welcome, and here is a presentation about what is IWS. IWS stands for Immigrant and International Women in Science. We are a non-profit, non-registered organization driven by committed and volunteer women across Canada. It was established in spring 2018. Our vision is to build a collaborative network that support and promote equity, diversity, and inclusion of immigrant and international women from STEM backgrounds in Canada. This is an infographics that was made for our first anniversary. The organization is now 2 years old. We are present in 9 cities across Canada. And our group is growing. So we have IWS leader in each cities who organize the events locally. Of course, now our events are not so personal, but we are doing virtual events for all cities at the same time. But we hope to go back to the in-person meetings soon, when it's possible, because the in-person meeting in each cities are more personal, I think. That's my experience. And we also have national leaders who are helping to grow the network and make it shine across the country. We have different programs and activities. We use in-person monthly meeting like this one and social media to promote our activities and our ideas. Our motto is Stronger Together, or Ensemble plus fort in French. Our members are are mainly immigrants, women from different scientific background, and we working in different type of organization, from academia to government, non-profit, and industry. However, the group is open to everybody who is an advocate for our vision and can offer support to our members. So we accept men, Canadian-born women, anybody who would be an ally to our group. We have different programs beside the monthly event. One is a highlight of the month. So this is an example. This is where one of our members is telling the others about their journey from their original country to Canada. I'm wondering if there is any member in the attending today who has been highlight of the month and who is not a city leader. Yes. We would like everyone at the end to be the highlight of the month. So if you want to submit your profile and be the highlight of the month, there is a link on our website to submit your profile. And Hanadi, if you could copy the link in the chat, please. I think I cannot do that when I share.
I already sent them.
Oh, okay. All right. We have another program called Voice Without Frontier. It's about the same principle where somebody is telling their story. This is on the Twitter platform. Okay. So next time you see this page with a different person, you'll recognize right away that's the highlight of the month from from one of our member. It's usually published on our website, but also on social media. In June, in line with the Black Lives Matter movement, IWS made a pledge for the long term to support Black, Indigenous, and people of color in the country. So it was really natural for us to do this because we are inclusive, diverse, and for equity. You can find the pledge in a blog on our website. I want to share with you some ongoing activities that are very important for us. The first one is our fundraising for this year. This year, we invite you and any of your friends to run or walk for Women in Science and to donate a small amount to allow our organization to pay for regular expenses. We are self-funded, and by donation only. We don't have any sponsor or external funding. And remember that all our events are free. So put your sneakers on and go out for walking and running for Women in Science. I want to play for you a little video, a promotion video. Let me do that. It's 1 minute, and I think it will make you want to go out and run. Can you see the video? Yes? Okay.
Yes. I ran for 40 minutes to verify. For Women in Science. I ran for Women in Science. I ran for Women in Science. Women in Science.
All right. So, I hope it made you want to go and run. So our second activity is a survey where we want to know more about immigrant women in the Canadian STEM field. This is a short survey. It would take only 5-10 minutes to answer, and it will give us more data and more information on how we want to advocate for women in science. Anadi, can you copy those 2 links in the chat, please?
Done already.
Already done. You're fast. Thank you. Okay, this is all I have to say about IWS for now. Now I'm going to introduce you a few people. I want to introduce you to the city and national leaders that are on the meeting today. So I am going to name them by cities, and if you could wave or say hi, ladies. So I think we have Sylvia from Quebec City.
Yeah,
Hi, I'm Sylvia, and I'm a co-leader of Quebec City, and I'm joining the meeting with my husband, who is Filippo, is interested in the topic too. So thank you to all of you for participating, and thank you, Clarice, for the introduction.
All right, thank you, Sylvia. You can say just hi or introduce yourself. I'm gonna go with next city. Wait, I tried to make a list with an order, but yes, Montreal. I think we have Betty from Montreal, maybe Catherine.
Hello everyone, my name is Betty Bethlehem Casa from Montreal. Yeah, and it's been a journey with IWS, and I'm part of the communication and marketing committee, where I'm learning a lot of communication skills and brand alignment, a lot of professional stuff and networking. So I'm loving IWS so far, and I hope to learn a lot today. I have my notebook and my pen, so let's go.
Thank you, Betty. We have 3 people from Ottawa, 3 leaders from Ottawa. Edna, Olga, and Clotilde. Ladies, you want to say hi or wave?
Yes,
hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi everyone. This is Edna. I would like to congratulate Vancouver to propose this fantastic topic, which is help us to improve our financial welfare. I'm Edna Mata, and I'm here in Ottawa. Thank you very much to Aimee and Larina for sharing your experience here tonight. Thank you.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Clotilde. So I'm located in Ottawa, and thanks again, Vancouver, for bringing this really important subject or even issues. Whatever we are in the West Coast or East Coast, this is so important for us. So thanks again, and glad to be here.
Thank you.
Hi, Clarice. Hi, everyone. This is Olga Peña. I am also based in Ottawa. And again, I mean, my co-leaders as well just say pretty much what needs to be said. Like, I'm really, really excited to hear this session today. And I thank you again, Vancouver, for doing this and organizing this event today. Thanks.
Oh, that's my... and from Calgary, we have Luana.
Hello, guys. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm representing Calgary tonight. We also have another 3 leaders, and I'm also very excited to be here. Thanks.
Fatima, you're there?
Hello, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, I think I didn't miss anybody. If I miss someone else, speak now, wave. I wanted to introduce the city leaders. So if you have questions, you know who you can reach now. Thank you all for joining. So now we can start talking about personal finances. I want to introduce you our speakers for today's presentation. Please welcome Aimee and Larina. They're both experienced financial advisors with passion to help women, immigrant women, with their finances, providing financial education and helping them making their best decision in finance. We are very happy to have you today. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
I'm gonna now pass you the floor, Aimee, starting with those 2 statistics to start our discussion on personal finances.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thank you so much for having us. We are so excited to be sharing this topic that we're clearly passionate about. That. If you don't mind, like I love to see faces on the camera, because otherwise I feel like I'm talking to like a black screen. But if you feel comfortable, that's fine. I understand. But there you go. There you go. There you go. So a little bit of my background. I moved from the Dominican Republic to Vancouver in 2012. I met my husband there, so we moved together. And my background is actually marketing. And when I moved to Canada and I went to the bank because I wanted to start a little savings account, I started learning about all these things you can do that in my country, none. But at the same time, I was finding it very overwhelming, right? There was so much information. You go to one place, they tell you something. You go to another one, they tell you something. And I'm like, okay, how can we close this gap of information? And how can I make a difference? And that's why I decided to become an advisor, a consultant, because I said to myself, I want to bring that knowledge to the table. So ultimately, you're the one who's going to be making the decision, but based on knowledge, not based on what I'm telling you or suggesting you to do. And the more I got into the role, I started to understand that gap in terms of woman investing, woman in wealth, what was going on there. And I really like these numbers here. This was a study that TD conducted recently, and it says that 90% of women will require to play the role of sole financial decision maker at one point in their life, whether you're divorced, whether you're single, whether you're widow. But many lack the confidence to fully embrace the role. And why is that? During my tenure or my career, I find that we don't ask questions. We don't ask many questions. And I'm just trying to understand why we're not asking questions, right? Like if I said, why we're not challenging that person that is actually giving the advice. And, knowledge is power. I will say that. But because at the end, if we have a big decision to make, how we're going to make that decision, right? And it's all about asking questions and having the knowledge. And another key thing that I really wanted to highlight is you don't need to earn a six-figure from your job to build wealth for yourself. Income does not equal wealth. And that's something that you just note it down. Income does not equal wealth. Instead is, what are your money habits? How do you choose to spend your money each month? Having a strategic and realistic plan to pay off debt or increase your savings. And thinking about the future you versus your present now, right? And I get caught on that sometimes, like, oh my God, I saw that cute jacket in Zara, I want to grab that. But you can. But again, going back to those money habits and going back to having a solid plan, it would allow you to, to spend the money where you choose to spend it, right? And this would lead to our topic today. And I'm so excited to have Larina on board because she shares the same vision and she has done an amazing job working for women as well. And yeah, I'm excited. So I would like to have Larina take the stage.
Thanks, Aimee. I'm very excited to present this to you guys today. I'm going to get started quite quickly. I just wanted to let you all know that I have been through financial hardship. When I was a very successful real estate agent, I had some clients that were young. He got critically ill and eventually passed away, but they had their coverage with basically their life insurance was just on their debt at their bank. And when the spouse went and reported this, they advised that they would have to medically underwrite the husband at that time, even though they'd been paying the premiums on that policy for 3 years. I was absolutely appalled. First of all, I didn't have my coverage at the bank at the time. I had it with an independent insurer. And I had already been medically underwritten, and I felt so responsible that I had not explained to them how they should properly have their finances set up. And so it was a very short time that I hung out my real estate license, went back to school, I got life license, mutual fund license, and I've been doing this for the last 9 years. When I started this new career, I didn't realize about 4 months into it that I was going to get a divorce. So I know what it's like to lose everything and have to build everything back up. And I'm hoping today that I'm going to be able to build up your confidence so that you're able to become wealthy financially and whatever that means to you, and really encourage you to make some changes with your finances. So I'll get started now. I need you to enable the screen sharing.
Where is this? We did that the other day. I can't find it anymore.
So I think you need to make a host. Sorry.
Sorry?
What I generally do is share screen, and then there should be an option that tells that the others attendees can share the screen.
Okay, I think it's okay. I did it. Can you share?
Let me try. Yep.
Oh, excellent. Sorry about that.
That's okay. This is actually the first time that I'm not presenting in the room of women, so hopefully it goes very, very smooth. So as I said, I told you guys, I'm really excited to help you and boost your confidence in your finances. A financial plan will help you meet your needs today and in retirement and help protect you from the unexpected along the way. It includes the right mix of income, savings, insurance protection products to help you meet your financial goals. Where do you want your money to take you? If you're like most people, your financial planning energy is focused on your day-to-day finances. So a good financial plan will help you balance those priorities with your goals for the future. And a financial plan is simply a list of things that are important to you now, the things you want to work towards, and an outline of how you're going to use your money to achieve your goals. A financial plan will help you save to meet your short and long-term goals, manage your debt repayment, protect yourself and your loved ones, and plan for retirement, as well as maximize your estate. Today, we're going to talk about spending plans, investment types, government pensions, wills, and then we're going to review it all. And you're going to have an opportunity to ask questions. So maybe type your questions into the chat, because if you have a question, I might be answering it. If I start talking about a certain type of investment account, I might be explaining it down the way. So just type it into the chat when you think of it, and then we'll review them all at the end. We're going to review the spending plan poll. Did everybody have a chance to finish that poll?
Oh, I stopped it. 27 out of 30. I think that's okay.
That's probably everyone.
Okay, so we're, let me stop it and then share the results. Yes. You guys see the results?
Mm-hmm. That's really great that 56% of you know your net worth. Often when I'm meeting with people and I ask that question, I kind of get a blank stare, and people aren't really sure what their net worth is. So that's really, really great. And eliminating debt, you guys all have the same goal. So I'm just going to close that. I don't know if it's, were you guys all able to see the results?
I'm going to stop sharing it for now, and I'll bring it back again for the next questions. Okay.
There are many sources of financial stress, including management household expenses, dealing with high levels of debt, living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to save money for short and long-term goals, and dealing with unexpected expenses. My goal today is to get you started on the right foot so that you will not have difficulties with finances in Canada. A worry-free retirement may be a thing of the past as Canadians struggle to manage debt. From living with a mortgage to unpaid credit cards, retirees now often find themselves facing financial challenges in their golden years. A recent survey found that 1 in 4, so 25% of retirees are facing these challenges and living with debt. So step 1, How you manage, spend, and invest your money can have a profound impact on your life. And becoming financially savvy can take a while, but the basics are fairly simple. Let's start by assessing your current situation. Have you ever asked yourself, how healthy are my finances? Your personal financial situation determines your financial health. Your financial health has so many dimensions, such as how much you're saving, your percentage of debt compared to your disposable income, and the amount of insurance protection you have. If you're on top of your debt, your mortgage, and your retirement planning for the future, give yourself a pat on the back. If you've had some challenges, like I did at one time in my life, the good news is you can always improve your financial future and move closer to your goals. If necessary, I always recommend that you meet with an advisor. They will always help you focus on consolidating debt and sticking to that monthly plan. It's kind of like having a personal trainer. Step 2, creating your goals. In this portion of the presentation, we're going to talk about setting up your long and short-term goals and the importance of prioritizing them. If you've already established goals, remember, it's always a great idea to revisit them. I do this once a year with my partner. It amazes me how easy it is to get off track. It's embarrassing, actually. Have a plan. Getting a plan is a practical way to boost your financial wellness. In 2012, the Financial Planning Standards Council surveyed people working with a planner and found that 63% of people said that they worry less about money because they are planning financially. They also stated that their emotional health had improved in retirement. Learn as much as you can. Many Canadians lack the knowledge and skills to make good, sound decisions. In 2004, there was another study, and we talked about those numbers. The survey found that only 31% of women and 43% of men, I know Sylvia's partner is on here, consider themselves financially knowledgeable. A practical way to increase your knowledge is by attending workshops like this on topics such as budgeting, building an emergency fund, and planning for retirement. I don't think there's too much education you can ever get in this area. My favorite thing in life to do is to set goals, but my husband, it's his least favorite thing to do, and we're actually doing that right now. You guys doing this reverse budget, the homework that you guys had to do really encouraged me after this summer and us spending more in September to revisit what exactly we're spending. And so you can just see my husband start to sweat, right? And we're doing this in a few days, so he knows he's down to the last few hours, like, what do I need to go and get from the hardware store before she cuts us off and makes us stop for the next 6 months? What are short-term goals? Short-term goals are your more immediate expenses. Although timelines vary, these are the things you spend money on generally within a few months or years. Examples are your emergency fund, your credit card debt payments, student loans, minor repairs, home improvements. Home improvements, those are my favorite short-term goals. Traveling, which we can't do anymore, and weddings, those type of things. Long-term goals are usually for your big picture costs. The goals will take several years, maybe even decades to reach. Your distant goals typically involve more money and regular attention than short-term goals. Long-term goal examples would be your retirement fund, paying off your mortgage, maybe starting your own business, or saving for education for your children. Then there's like a gray area. There's often an overlap between short and long-term goals. So some goals such as like buying a car, saving for a down payment, or just even paying off debt, they can fit into either category depending on your situation. You'll likely have a combination of the short and long-term goals to balance. Work your goals around your usual expenses, focusing on your needs like food and shelter first. Emergency and retirement funds are also a very, very high priority. Contribute to these funds and then start paying off debt. Then you can decide how to allocate the rest of the money towards what you want and your other savings goals. Once you have your goals prioritized, you're ready to move on to the next step to better your finances. Making a budget. Did you guys like doing that exercise? Did everyone do it? I can't see you guys, but we sent out a budget sheet, and I always like making a reverse budget. So I find it's a lot easier. So if you're wanting to do a budget and you haven't done it, take that sheet that I gave you, or better yet, put big poster boards up on your wall and go through your finances and write down everything that you've spent money on. And then from there, you can make plans. The purpose is so that you can see where your money went. This is the only process that will ensure that you're getting more out of your hard-earned dollars and make it easier to make your dreams happen. Now that you've recorded everything that you've spent money on in the last month, it's easy for you to balance the expenses. If you're spending more money than you make, obviously this is a problem and needs to be corrected immediately. Step number 4 is to act on your plan. Having a plan is good, and acting on it is even better. Planning is so important. And if you're familiar with Warren Buffett, he said once, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." So step 1 of your new spending plan, paying yourself first. I always thought, to be honest, before I got into this line of work, I thought paying yourself first was like, go reward yourself with that handbag that you've really, really wanted because you've worked so hard for the money you just earned, but it's actually not. It means setting aside a portion of your income to save before paying your bills and other expenses. Make saving a part of your new dream, just like your cable bill or your monthly rent, and start putting a sum you can afford on a regular basis immediately. Payroll deductions or pre-authorized withdrawals are effective ways to save for your dreams. Just get in the habit of saving. Even when you get a bonus or a raise, save some of the money. If you get into this habit, it will be easy to follow and you won't miss the money you are using for extra savings. This is what we mean when we say pay yourself first. Emergency funds. Building an emergency fund can materially boost your financial health. The fund is meant to be money that is saved and readily available for emergencies, such as car repairs or job loss. The goal should be to have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in your emergency fund, but you have to take small steps. So the first step, it's recommended to have enough money to cover 6 months of your living expenses. But for many people, that would mean saving $30,000 to $50,000 or more. Aiming for a large sum savings goal like that can be really discouraging. Instead, try building your savings in small steps. Take a realistic look at your income and your spending and figure out how much you can actually afford to set aside right now. Maybe you can only put away $25. That's a good start. Simply choose a set amount either each week or month that you're comfortable with. Arrange it to have automatically transferred from your checking account or taken right off your paycheck. Review the arrangement regularly and increase the amount you're saving all the time if you can. Number 2, keep your emergency fund separate from other savings. Let's say your furnace quits in the middle of a cold snap, or your vehicle, something goes in the engine on your vehicle. If you've built up a healthy sum in your retirement savings, you might be tempted to pull the money to pay for that emergency, but it's so important to understand that this might cost you more in the long run. In order to avoid dipping into your retirement savings, be sure to stash your emergency funds in a separate account. And thirdly, don't rely on debt. Don't feel the urge to reach for your credit card whenever you're in a jam. It's so tempting, and it's really hard, but really try to resist. Credit card charges high interest rates when you don't pay your balance in full every month. And while your line of credit for fast cash seems ideal, remember it's still money you have to pay back. The interest rate might be lower, but the debt is still there. For emergencies, you're better off avoiding your plastic and depending on your savings instead. Plan for the unexpected. A plan will help you meet your needs today and in retirement, and help protect you from unexpected along the way. It includes the right mix of income, savings, insurance protection to help you with your financial goals. Save for the long term. Time is your greatest asset when saving for the long term, and you don't need to set aside a lot to reap the benefits. For example, start planning for retirement ASAP. The best and easiest way to start saving for your retirement, this is what I do, and I encourage all the people I work with to do it, is to start visualizing what you want in your retirement. I used to have big lofty goals, thinking like if I had X amount of dollars in my retirement, it's just going to be so awesome. But then I realized I really want a simple retirement. I am now remarried to someone that I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with. We know exactly where we want to be when we retire. It's a very, very simple life. But one of the things I want to do is always have people over for wine and snacks. And so I've implemented that into my retirement plan, and I start visualizing that. So when you're planning your retirement, make like a budget that your retirement would look like. How many times are you going to upgrade your car? How many times are you going to get a new boat? Do you want someone to come mow your lawn? Do you want to live in a condo? All those things. And then we can amortize it over your whole retirement. We'll know exactly how much you need annually to make that happen. It makes saving so much better. Contribute to those savings regularly, all the time. Can we run the investment, show the investment type poll? So if you scroll down, you guys will be able to see it's great, half of you. That's really good. Half of you are already regularly saving for your retirement. Whoops. Sorry, guys. This is going reverse. Hang on 1 minute. There. I'm going to explain the registered versus non-registered types of investments. Registered, the simple way is a registered account has rules imposed by the CRA, so the Canada Revenue Agency, and non-registered investments have no limits. Registered accounts often offer tax sheltering on your investments, meaning that while your investments remain in the account, your money will grow tax deferred. And you only pay taxes once the money is withdrawn from the account, or if you're using a tax-free savings account, they grow tax-free. It's a very awesome and exciting option. I'm going to show you how we can benefit greatly from these tax-advantaged investments. An RRSP is a savings plan that's registered with the CRA, so the Canada Revenue Agency. It allows you to save for retirement on a tax-deferred basis with before-tax earnings. The advantages of an RRSP are that your taxes are deferred. It has the convenience of payroll deduction. So often if you're employed, your employer will take money off of your check for you for your RRSP, and regular plan savings. You have access to a wide range of investments. So an RRSP, you don't go to a financial institution and buy an RRSP. It's an account that has rules and limits attached to it, and you can have any type of investment within that. You can use spousal RRSPs for income splitting purposes, and it's for savings. There's also the Home Buyers Plan. It's a program run by the federal government that allows you to withdraw funds from your registered retirement savings plan to buy a qualified home. And I believe it's just been increased from $25,000 to $35,000, but I actually have to double check that. It provides first-time home buyers with greater access to their RRSP savings to purchase or build a home. There's also the Lifelong Learning Plan that allows you to withdraw money from your RRSP. Excuse me. To finance full-time training or education for you or your spouse or your common law partner. My cute little grandniece spent the night at our house last week. She's 2 and she woke up with a stuffy nose. And my sisters, her mom, my 19-year-old, my 16-year-old, basically anyone that touched her had a cold. So I'm just getting over it now, I'm sorry. Tax-free savings accounts. Canadian residents that are 18 or over with a valid social insurance number can contribute to a tax-free savings account. In provinces or territories where the age of majority is 19, accumulation of contribution room will start at age 18, but they still can't open a tax-free savings account till 19. The tax-free saving contribution limit in 2009 all the way to 2012 started at $5,000 each year. It's now $6,000. So your contribution room gets carried over to the next year if you don't use it. Contributions to a tax-free savings account are not deductible for income tax purposes. However, any amount contributed as well as any income generated in the account, for example, any investment income or capital gains, they're generally tax-free, even when it's withdrawn. Tax-free savings accounts and RRSPs both offer tax advantages to help you reach savings goals. If you can afford it, a good strategy is to contribute as much as you can to both. And this is where having an advisor will help you. When you go meet with an advisor, they're going to help look at your taxes and tell you if you should be putting money into your RRSP or you should be using your tax-free savings account for your retirement. Government pensions, we're going to look at that poll. So the majority of you do not have a company pension plan, and actually company pension plans are getting fewer and far between now. They're not, it used to be 40 years ago or 30 years ago, every job that you started, every place you worked at had a great pension plan, and they just don't anymore. So that's why it's so important to start your own pension, which is what you're using your RRSP. Would you be using your RRSP from? I can't move my screen.
You want me to stop sharing this? Maybe it's gonna go back.
There we go. There are many sources of income in your retirement. And here's a slide that explains all the different government programs in Canada. Government pensions are not automatic. You must apply in advance to receive most pensions, generally about 6 months before you're eligible to receive them. Don't shortchange yourself. Know exactly how much you're entitled to receive from government sources before you retire. It's easy to figure this out. And again, I get all my clients to do it when we're working on their plans. Log into your Service Canada account. You'll be able to see so many things in there, like how much tax-free savings account room do you have? And also, how much am I estimated to receive for CPP? If you've worked and contributed to either the Canada Pension Plan or the Quebec Pension Plan, you're entitled to receive pension benefits under those plans. Full details are available through that website. The actual amount of your benefit is based on the number of years you contributed on your pensionable earnings during that period. Benefits generally amount to about 25 to 33% of your average annual job earnings over your lifetime, up to an annual maximum. The income is paid monthly and indexed to inflation annually. And I'll give you just a little bit more information on that. In the maximum benefit you can receive in Canada is around $1,200 a month, but the average Canadian is only receiving $700 a month. So lots of people think that they're going to retire and they're eligible to receive the maximum, but it's a pension plan that you've actually contributed to as well as your employer. So you only get the benefit of how much money you've put into it. So it's a very good idea, good reason to know. If you've worked full-time in Canada since you were 18 years old, you would be probably receiving close to the maximum. Most of the time, if you're a woman and you've been working since you were 18, you've taken time off to mother, you've taken time off could have taken time off for various reasons, you wouldn't have contributed during those years, and so you would receive less. So it's very important to know what you're going to be getting. Old age security. That's a benefit. If you're living in Canada, you must be 65 years old or older, be a Canadian citizen or a legal resident at the time they approve your OAS pension application, and you must have resided in Canada for at least 10 years after you've turned 18. So that's really important information to know if you're new to Canada. To be eligible, you have to have lived in Canada for at least 10 years after turning 18. Low-income pensioners may be eligible for other pensions and supplements offered through the federal government, and those will include the Guaranteed Income Supplement, a spouse's allowance, there's a widowed spouse allowance. In certain circumstances, some pensioners may also be eligible for provincial income supplements to subsidize their old age pension and guaranteed income supplement. Health and Welfare Canada or your provincial social services department can provide you with those full details. The guaranteed income supplement, excuse me, provides a monthly non-taxable benefit to old age security pension recipients who have a low income. I'm just going to mute myself for a minute. Sorry. If you qualify for the GIS, if you meet all of the following conditions, you have to be receiving old age security pension and your annual income is lower than the maximum annual threshold. So that changes throughout, that will change by the time you get to retirement. If you're under age 65 and you work while receiving CPP retirement pension, you and your employer will have to make mandatory CPP contributions. So this is planning right up to retirement. These contributions go towards the new post-retirement benefit, which is effective January 1st of the year following your post-retirement benefit contribution. The additional benefit will be added to your current retirement benefit, gradually increasing your retirement income. Again, if you're between the ages of 65 and 70 and you work while receiving CPP retirement pension, you can either choose to make CPP contributions or you can opt out of making these contributions. If you decide to make the contributions, your employer will also have to make those contributions. Employees continue to not be able to contribute to the CPP after the month in which they reach age 70. If you live in Quebec, and there are a few of you on this meeting, all employees over the age of 18 have to contribute to QPP, even if they're receiving a pension under QPP or CPP or are 70 or over. Keeping your finances healthy. Did you know that keeping your finances healthy can keep you healthy? In 2019, the Sun Life Barometer took the temperature of Canadians regarding their finances and health. Some of the survey's results are actually startling, but there are supports in place to empower Canadians to stay on top of their finances. Taking action can help reduce stress. Credit ratings. This is probably one of the most stressful things for Canadians. Having a good credit score can mean the difference between having your credit card application approved or denied, or getting the best mortgage rates. The graphic on the slide is a general guide to credit score ranges. A credit report gives lenders details about every loan you've taken out in the last 6 years, including credit cards, car loans, lines of credit, and mortgages. It shows how much you've borrowed, whether you pay on time, and what you still owe. Based on all of this, you're given a credit score from 300, which is the lowest, to 900, which is an absolutely perfect score. Lenders and credit reporting agencies produce credit scores under different brand names. In Canada, there's 2 credit bureaus that provide reports, TransUnion and Equifax. The report is free if you choose by mail option that takes 2 to 3 weeks. If you want your score, that's what lenders use to access you, then you need to pay extra. You can also pay to access everything instantly online. A low score is not the end of the world, but it can take years to bring up your score. To do this, you need to pay your bills on time and in full all the time. Don't let yourself get caught off guard with a bad score. Make sure you stay on top of your credit report and you don't let your debt payments slide. Tips to improve your credit score: always make your payments on time. If you cannot pay the full amount, make at least the minimum payment. And if you think you're having trouble, you will have trouble paying a bill, contact the lender right away. See if you can work out a special arrangement to repay the debt. Don't just let debt go aside. This is everything that affects your credit score. Payment history, 35%. Your payment history shows whether or not you pay your bills on time. It also shows if you've declared bankruptcy or had wage garnishments. Negative information stays on your file for up to 7 years. The length of time the information remains on your file depends on the province or territory you reside in. It's really important to always pay your credit card bills on time. If you can't, ensure you make the minimum payments. Amount owed, 30%. The amount of credit you actually use counts towards your score. Lenders will consider you a higher risk if you use a large percentage of your available credit. Using less than 30% to 35% of your available credit is ideal. 15%, the length of credit history. If you've had an open account and have used it for a long period of time, it's really good for your score. But if you choose your older accounts and your remaining accounts are newer, it could hurt your score. To improve your score, keep older accounts open, even if you don't use them, and also use them occasionally to keep them active. Types of credit makes up 10%. Having one type of credit product may lower your score. It's better to have a variety of credit, such as a credit card, a line of credit, a loan. However, it's very important to make sure you can afford to pay back the money you borrow. So it's not wise to just get a bunch of credit for the sake of having it. New credit requests make up 10%. That's when you apply for most types of credit or someone asks for your credit report. It's counted as an inquiry or a hard hit. Having a lot of these in a short period of time could negatively impact your score. To consider applying for credit only when you need it. When you're shopping for a mortgage, try to do it in a 14-day period, since all inquiries made during that time are often considered as one inquiry. Requesting your own credit score report is recorded as a soft hit, and it will not impact your credit score. And before we move on to the section on wills, we'll just have a look at the wills poll. Okay, so most of you don't have a will. That's very common for me to see that. I encourage you to get a will. I'm going to talk a little bit more. If you don't know who to help in your area, I can help you find somebody. I'm so sorry.
Larina, if you want, I can take over.
You want to?
I'm almost done.
Okay.
No. Almost better. It's maybe I'm just talking too much. I can't move my screen again, Clarice. Oh, there we go.
Oh, sorry, I shared that again.
It's okay.
I thought I was the only one not having a wheel, but I feel better now. But for an immigrant, I think it's very common.
It's actually it can be quite stressful getting a will, especially we just recently redid ours, and ours is more complicated because we're a blended family. But the things that they have to know now, it's not just like what you're gonna do with your money after. There's so many questions involved if you get sick, and yeah, it was very difficult for my husband and I recently when we updated our will, because we had to update a bunch of other things. So yeah, it's not a fun thing to do, but it's very, very important. And here's why. Because a will can provide security of knowing that your possessions will be handled the way you wish after you die. Your wishes concerning guardianship of your children, that's so important. And the opportunity to appoint the person who you want to manage your estate. And arrangements for inheritance. Who's going to get it? How are they going to get it? So important. A will tells people in charge of your assets how to distribute them. It can be simple or complex depending on the nature of assets and terms on which you choose to distribute them. You choose who will receive your property and assets, your personal effects and family heirlooms, who's going to serve as executor to carry out your wishes. And one thing that's really important to know, when your children are of age, they get their share unless you have something else set up. So we have a 19-year-old, and I said to my husband, if something happened to both of us, I can't imagine what would happen if she got a third of our estate right now. So we have a separate trust set up within our will that sets out when they will, at what age they would receive their inheritance, because yeah, it would be a bit of a disaster. I'm thinking if any of our kids got them at 19 years old. Anyone who owns assets should have a will. If you die without a will, the courts may appoint a representative to effect the distribution according to provincial rules, which may not match your wishes or your family's needs. It may not be the most tax effective. It's worth the expense to have a lawyer draw up your will. Laws vary by province on acceptance of handwritten wills, as well as specific language takes on precise and perhaps unintended meaning. The cost of having a will usually depends on the size of the estate, but most simple wills are inexpensive. And like I said, if you need a referral where you live, I can help set you up with a lawyer that would be great to help you. Your will should be reviewed every 3 to 5 years. Always make sure it's up to date. You don't have to do all of this by yourself. Advisors help you review your finances and develop a plan that works with your current situation. I've provided you with so much information today, and some of you are probably wondering about your own situation and how this information would apply to you personally. An advisor like me can answer your specific questions, help you build a plan to meet your short and long-term goals, and identify any gaps that may prevent you from reaching them. Good advice can make a difference. Investors with advice were found to accumulate almost 4 times more assets after 15 years than compared to non-advised investors. Those who work with an advisor have more assets, they have a higher net worth, they feel more financially secure, they're better prepared for the unexpected, they're confident they saved enough money to retire without sacrificing their standard of living. If you're already working with an advisor, I encourage you to meet with them about what you heard today. And if you're not, you will want to consider it. If you're in BC, I'm one of the resources available to you, and I'd be happy to meet with you to assess your current situation at no cost. I'd also be happy to provide a second opinion if it's helpful. If you're not in BC, I'd be more than happy to set you up with an advisor that lives near you. We're going to be sending out a feedback form, and the reason I do that is it's important for me to know that the information I shared was actually helpful and valuable. If you'd like to talk, please indicate your name and contact information on the evaluation form, and my office will call you to schedule just a telephone meeting if that's what you'd like. Your spouse or other family members can attend, and if you have children, getting them comfortable with going to an advisor can certainly help them with their own finances in the future. I was really, really delighted to be asked to do this today. It was really, really fun, and I hope you guys got lots out of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larina. Thank you so much. I sent the feedback form to all the attendees. I hope you guys got it. Not if you did. No. I sent it with the budget. So if you had the budget sheet, you had also the feedback form. All right. Thank you very much, Larina. I see a lot of feedbacks. Thank you. Okay. So let me share my screen for the second part of the presentation, which I'm going to do. This is about business finances. This is about how much it costs to create your own business. Of course, we can't cover all finance about business in this meeting. So first of all, I want to put a big disclaimer in front of you. I'm not an expert. This is me sharing my experience. I made mistakes, and I encourage you to do your own research. Each province has their own slightly different rules and amounts too. So a little bit of my experience. I come from France. I've been in Canada for 18 years. I've lived in Quebec and in BC now. I created a company in Quebec and one in BC. My specialty is IT, and I was providing service. And I was the only person in my business. So this is to give you a context. If I have stayed in my own country, I would have never created my own company. So I'm really grateful I could have done this in Canada, and I think Canada is a great place to create your own business. I want to show you today with my experience that it's possible, it's not too difficult, and it's not too expensive. Of course, the hard part is to find clients, but I'm not going to talk about this today. All right. So why would you create, oh, sorry, statistics first. So here are some statistics I found. So 98% of the businesses in Canada are small businesses, which means between 1 to 99 employees. And in Canada in 2018, there were over 1 million of self-employed women. 60% were unincorporated businesses with no employees. And on the men side, 1.7 million men were self-employed. 39% were unincorporated with no employees. So how I read this is if you want to create your business, this is the place to do it. You're not alone. So many people have done it. And also what I see is that men seems to be more confident in incorporating their business. But I want to show you that we are all capable of doing it. We have all what it takes to do it. So let me set up this better. Okay. So why would you create your own business? You can create your own business for a side job and doing this on a part-time, or you want to do this to have more freedom and be able to work when you want. If you want to work just 4 days a week or 70% of the year instead of of 100%. And also you can choose with who you're going to want to work. So now we are going to go in the greeny details. So we will have two choices. One is called sole proprietorship, and the second is incorporation. There are other forms of businesses. One is called society. It's for nonprofit. So, for instance, IWS could register as a society. And another one is called partnership. This one, I know absolutely nothing about this, so I'm not going to talk about it. But usually people are going for sole proprietorship or incorporation. So here are some differences between the two. So sole proprietorship is the simplest form, and it would be less paperwork, and it would mean you're doing business under your own name. Usually people call them self-employed or solo entrepreneurs. It means they have a sole proprietorship business. Also, you're doing business under your own name and you are the business, so you are fully responsible of everything for that business. And the taxes, the business is taxed under your own T1, your personal tax declaration. The other is the incorporation. So a corporation is a separate entity. It's like a moral person. It has its own name, the business name, and if you own the corporation, you have limited liability. So if the corporation has debt, the corporation has to pay the debts, but not necessarily you. So let's say you own a house or you have assets personally, you don't have to sell them to pay the debts of your corporation. The other advantage is that you can defer income. So you can choose what is the income you will get from your business. And you're the owner, you're the executive, you're the CEO, and you make those decisions. In the tax, for the taxes, the corporation has to do its own declaration. It's called, it's a form named T2. For Quebec, they have their own form. It's called CO17. Normally, I think most of the provinces except Quebec allow to do one T2 for provincial and federal purpose. So now, what do you have to do and how much it will cost? So first of all, for sole proprietorship, the only thing you have to do is register as sole proprietorship. I picked the simplest form of business in that category. It means you're doing business under your own name. In BC, we have to pay a business license, and it depends on each city has their own business license. So I added the cost here, but if you're in another province, I don't know all the province, but in Quebec, there was no business license. So to start your business, it would be that amount of money, $195. If you want to incorporate, there are a little bit of more steps. First of all, you have to name your corporation, and you have to reserve the name. This costs just $30, and your business name would end with Inc. or Limited or Corp. The incorporation itself costs $350, and this is at the provincial level. If you want, in addition to incorporate at the federal level, you have to pay another $200. And incorporate means that you have to create article of incorporation and create some shares. So for instance, for the article of incorporation, it can be a scary term, but when you do it on the website of the government online, they provide to you with templates of articles, and you can accept those articles and you don't have to change them. You can change them in the future if you need. For the shares, you need to create a number of shares with an amount. So it can be, for instance, 10 shares, 10 cents. So you have to invest $1. Also, because you have to do your, the corporation has to do its own tax declaration, you need a tax account at the CRA, and in Quebec, also an account for Revenue Quebec. You need a business bank account. Here I put the amount that RBC as a type of account for small businesses, where it started at $6 a month. And I added the business license to make things equal. So all together, that would be an investment of $542. I didn't count the federal part because this is not mandatory. You have to register or incorporate in the province where you will do business. And you decide at provincial level or at federal level. The benefit of doing it at federal level is that the business name would be reserved in the whole country, all Canada. That's pretty much the only benefit. It can be also that if you want to do business with another country, it may be more prestigious to have a federal incorporated company. You don't have to incorporate, you can incorporate in one province and do business with other provinces. That's not a problem. And also with other countries. Let's say you want to do business with the United States, you can do that with your provincially incorporation. The price I put here, they're just to give you a rough idea and to show the difference. They depend on each provinces. I picked the numbers from BC because that's the one I know right now. There might be some additional step. So you will need to charge GST and HST to your clients if you make sales over $30,000 in a year. So you need to create an account with CRA for this when you start making that much sales. And same thing with provincial sales taxes. And if you can be the employee or of your own business corporation, in that case you will need a payroll account with the CRA again, more paperwork. You can remunerate yourself in two ways. One is dividend, so you decide how much the share would give you, how much dividend each share will give you per year. or you can give yourself a salary, like if you're working for your own business, like an employee, or you can do a mix of both. So if you sell more than $30,000 in a sole proprietorship, same thing, you'll have to create a sales tax account. So if to do all the tasks, it's not, I mean, it's some paperwork, yes, but everything can be done online. So those sites are for BC. For sole proprietorship, onestop.gov.bc.ca is the place to go. And if you want to incorporate at the BC, at the provincial level in BC, you pick this first link. And if you want to incorporate at the federal level, you go to this website. And Hanadi, she's going to copy for you. There is a special link for how to incorporate the business on this website, but it was not good looking, so I didn't put it in the slide. I found that the government website are very helpful. They have all the information. Of course, it can be a little bit overwhelming, and you have to do a lot of reading, but those sites are, when you're decided on what and you want to go for it, they're really helpful, and it's not too complicated. If you want to incorporate, some people would recommend to hire a lawyer to do it. It's not mandatory, but if you want to be sure, then you can hire a lawyer. A lawyer would charge $1,000 or something around that. There is an organization in BC called Small Business BC. It's an amazing organization. They can assist you to register for a fee that would be less than a lawyer. And I'll give you the link later about Small Business BC. So this is the money to put on the first when you create your company. Now I'll talk about what are the costs and the taxes for the year, every year. So you're taxed on your profit, and you can deduct your operating expenses from your revenue. That includes anything stationary, the gas you're using to go see your clients, and that includes also a home office. You can put your electricity, your phone, and a part of your house. So for a sole proprietorship, there is actually not a lot of yearly costs. In BC, we have the CT business license to pay. I added this domain name and website hosting that cost about $200, but you don't. This is optional. If you want to stay at the bare minimum, you just have to pay the business license, and you have to pay for filing your tax declaration unless you can do it by yourself. So the minimum in BC would be $155. For a corporation, you have to provide an annual report. In BC, it costs $45, and you have to provide one at federal level if you're also incorporated at federal level, which is $12. You have to pay for your business bank account. This is just $6 by 12 months. And business license is the same as the sole proprietorship. Domain and website is the same. And you have to pay for filing your taxes. So I'm going to come back to how much it costs to file your taxes in both cases after I explain how the taxes are counted. So in case of sole proprietorship, your profit will be included in your personal revenue and taxed at your personal rate. So you know about the brackets. So it will be, and all your profit for that year is taxed with your personal revenue. For the corporation, the profit is taxed separately at the corporate tax rate, minus the small business deduction. So what is the small business deduction is allowed to businesses when their sales are under $500,000, which is quite a bit of money. So it's likely that you would get the small business deduction. And the tax rate for at the federal level is 9% this year. And at the provincial level, it's between all the provinces is between 2 to 4%, except Quebec, which is 8%. So you have to add those to tax rate. So to file your tax declaration, the cheapest way I found with for the corporation is to use a software. There are two software I know. One is called TurboTax and the other one is UFile T2. UFile T2 works with Quebec declaration. That's the only one I found. TurboTax doesn't work for Quebec. So the UFile T2 would cost about $150 to do one T2 in 1 year. It's actually recommended to take an accountant if you incorporate to do your tax declaration for you, and they would charge something like $1,200 for the year. For as a sole proprietorship, I put H&R Block around 500, but I actually have no idea because they charge you by the number of forms they have to file for you. So it varies on it varies. And if you are using their service or another tool to do your personal tax declaration now, add something like 500 to do your business as a sole proprietorship. The good thing is that it's one tax declaration, so it can be considered as a business expense. All right, so that was a lot about money. Once you've done the step, you have to network with other entrepreneurs and get support from as many people as you can, and then you have to meet some accountants, bookkeepers, lawyers, financial advisor, insurance broker, marketing people, social media people, coach. And you have to find people you trust, especially accountants and bookkeeper and lawyers and financial advisors. And so it's very important to go network with other entrepreneurs. I'm going to share now some resources, some websites. So the first one is Small Business BC. I talked about it before. They help you in your registration, and they provide free seminar and webinar for entrepreneurs. So I wanted to show you the website. Let me see if I can get it here. So what I like is that they have lots of resources to help you. And here, for instance, they have their business registration service. They really are helpful to help you with creating your own business and running it on the long term. I was trying to find an equivalent for another, at least for Quebec. So this is the one I knew in Quebec. But you have to look for your own in your own province. I am sure there are in each province some similar website to help you. Also, there are lots of women groups to support entrepreneurs. This is just one example. Women Enterprise Center, they have a mentorship program that's very useful also to get support when you feel alone in your own business. And there are plenty of other groups where you can find a free business guidance. Another website that I like a lot is bdc.ca. This BDC stands for Business Development Bank of Canada. They're giving loans to businesses in Canada. This is their own purpose, only purpose. But their website is really good because it gives also information on how to create your business. So here. And they also have, depending on who you are, if you're a woman, they have a specific loans for different type of people. So if you're a woman, or if you're a newcomer, or if you're a technology entrepreneur, they would have loans and advice just for you. And they have also some information here on how to create a business, how to create a business plan. If you want to ask for a loan, you're going to need a business plan. And so I really like that website. Oh, this is an article that lists a group of small business grants in Canada. This is really useful. They have lots of grants possible. They're usually targeted to different groups, but if you are in one of those groups, you can also get a grant. And this is a tax credit for research and development, and you don't have to be a big company to get it. They give you 35% of tax credit on the first $3 million of research and development your company would do. Voila. I think that's all I wanted to tell you. It's a lot of information, and you have to do, I'll say it again, you have to do your own research and make sure that those information apply to your province. Thank you. I think we're going to go to question. Let me check. The chat.
I've answered everyone's questions privately.
Okay.
just so you know.
Are there any question you want to that you want to share with others?
Oh, what the questions were? Everyone can see what they are, and I've responded.
Yeah, but to share with everybody.
Somebody asked if I was freelance. I'm assuming they're wondering if I'm associated with a company. I'm an independent advisor that is contracted with Sun Life, so I use Sun Life for all my insurance products. And for mutual funds, I'm licensed to use various mutual fund companies throughout Canada. And the other question was, can I send the slides? I won't send the slides, but I can send information directly if somebody wants more information on. Somebody asked me a question, for instance, about CPP. What are the differences between CPP and QPP? I can't answer that because I don't really know anything about QPP. I'm not licensed to work in Quebec. But I can send information if somebody wanted more information on CPP or budgeting. I can send direct information directly to you. I see there's some more questions down here. I would like to know how much % is recommended we save per month in our savings account. I can help you review your budget. So if you did that spending and savings exercise, you'll see how much money is left over. And of your income, I would suggest 15%, but depending on your age, it could be between 5 and 10%, and depending on your goals.
Okay. I see that people are asking for the feedback. I'll send the feedback again.
So there's another question. Which one do you suggest to meet first talk to about finances, banker or organizations such as Sun Life? I would suggest working with a Sun Life advisor in your area, honestly. Every Sun Life advisor, every advisor owns their own business, so we're highly motivated to do a very good job for our clients. My end result, my goals are not that I sell clients money or move wealth over, but that they refer me to all their family and friends. So I'm highly motivated to keep my clients very, very happy. My sister has worked for a major bank for her whole life, and those aren't her goals.
Yeah, I'm going to add something too there, coming from a bank. I'm not going to mention which one, and also coming from a wealth management company. I will say to talk to an advisor, because it's not only about one specific goal that you have in terms of, let's say you want to review your cash flow, right? How would that align to any of your goals, right? So someone that can do the 360, looking at your cash flow, look at your goals of retirement, look at your short-term goals. So this is when it comes handy to talk to someone that can see the whole financial picture. Larina, there's another question. It says, can you answer question related to immigrant which start their retirement plan overseas? Clotilde, I hope I'm saying your name. Overseas, you mean that it's outside the country? Oh, okay, yes.
I think she means we all, yeah. We worked in our country before, and then we came to Canada.
Yeah, I still have my, well, it's not a retirement, although it is kind of, it's kind of like a pension plan. And because I stopped working there, like it's still accumulating there, right? But if I go back to my country, I can probably make some contributions, but because I'm here, I'm not sending anything there. I'd rather start something here. So now I have 2 buckets of retirement, one in my country and one here. So I hope that answers that question. And
there's oftentimes as well, like I've moved 2 different pensions over from other countries where people are residing in Canada and they're not going back. One was from the UK and the other one was from the Netherlands. So it just depends on where the money's coming from and the tax laws. So there's always an accountant involved in it to give some international tax advice.
Carla. Carla say, I have another question. Okay. Okay, Clarice, I think this one is for you. It says, when we have a business idea, but it's still under development, shall I register only when it is a solid business, or can I register an idea, for example, a patent, before others copies the idea? Other copies the idea.
I don't know much about the patent, but if you want to reserve a name, for instance, a name for your company, you can do it separately, I believe, from before. You can do it before you create your business. I don't know how long the name is going to be kept, though. And it works for domain name too. I don't know. Let's say you want a domain name for your website. It's also the same thing. You can buy the domain name and do nothing with it for years, and use it when you're ready.
And I was going to add, Clarice, that you share something really good, Carla. So if you have an idea and if you have a name, I will suggest you to go to Busy Business and talk to an advisor there, because they're going to walk you through the whole process. Or I'm not sure if you're in Vancouver, but you can access online. They have webinars and they have information that they can help you. They can do maybe like a virtual call and help you through the process. And, you know, they will help you identify what is best for you at the moment.
Are you talking Small Business BC or
yes.
It's another one?
Yeah, the Small Business BC. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. Yeah, and you're in Vancouver, so that's
perfect.
Very good. Yeah. All right. Okay. So if there is no more question, I'm gonna wrap up. Thank you so much, Larina and Aimee, for being with us today and answering our questions.